Welcome, everybody. John Zegar. JohnZegar.com. How's everybody doing? Good? Good. So, I always say they're going to be short podcasts, and they end up sometimes getting a little longer than I anticipate. But this one I'm going to try to keep short because what happens, and I forget to do that, and I forgot to do it today. I'm on my iPhone, and I don't put pause on phone calls. And as a result, when I'm in the middle of a podcast, a phone call comes in, and that disrupts the whole podcast, and I don't know how to continue on with the podcast without it being interfered with by the phone call. I know that don't make any sense, but at any rate, if the phone rings, I'm going to stop, and I guess we'll have to do this one another day. But real short. So I want to talk about just one thing. I have a tendency in the past to offer resistance to people. I was kind of trained that way in psychology because we want people to be honest and truthful and you know, tell us exactly what's going on and don't give us, different versions of the accurate interpretation of what went on. And so I have a tendency from growing up and going to school and being trained in psychology and graduate school and on and on and on to just encourage people to not be dishonest. And so this morning is a prime example. I'm going to go through it really quickly. I'm on my first cup of coffee. Almost finished with it, but I've been to the gym and done all that kind of stuff, so I feel pretty good. So I had an issue with a bank, and I got an overdraft fee that I didn't think was correct. And I called up just to ask them, tell me exactly where I went wrong on this, because for some reason I don't feel I should be paid or paying this overdraft fee. And they went on to spend a lot of time with you're on a recorded line, and everything you do and say and blah 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 will be recorded. And I said, no, you're misunderstanding. I'm calling about an issue regarding my account. I don't need to have everybody that I call anymore start telling me I'm on a recorded line. You ever done that? I don't know. You call the bank, you call the store, you call this place, that place, whatever you're up to, and everybody now informs you that you're on a recorded line. Well, number one, that kind of makes you feel guilty about something. I don't know what, or it makes you feel guilty that you're gonna be up to something. Right? And so they want you to know that don't be a crook, in a sense. And it's kind of a demeaning statement because in my mind, I automatically always have understood that, whatever I'm saying to a bank or a company or some place around the world, whoever I'm talking to, I kind of assume that somebody else is listening, or I'm being recorded somewhere, or who knows what. And so it's kind of understood in my brain. And I've just gotten beaten down so much by so many places before they even let me talk to go through this whole dissertation about I'm on a recorded line. And so this morning I just asked, I said, I need to find out why you have a need to say that to me, because it makes me feel this way for these reasons, and can you find somebody that can answer that? Well, I went all the way up the chain, which was 3 people, And I got a hold of a guy, and he said to me that he's the highest up that a customer can talk to verbally in their bank. Can't go above him, he said. I've got a PhD. I lecture around the world. I'm the top guy you would ever be able to talk to, and I'm feeling very upset that you're calling with this issue. And it's a company policy. That's the way it is. That's all you're going to get. You're not going to get anything more. And, he just kind of went down this sarcastic road and went on eventually to say, and he said, oh, by the way, this is going to be a very short, brief conversation. I don't have the patience to listen to a person like you. Call our bank and ask us a question about our policy. And he went on to say that he could, if he wanted, fill out a form, and it would go to the next level up, and then the correspondence would be in writing. And I said, well, that's okay. That'd be fine. Let's just go ahead and do that. And then he went on and continued to get more nasty and more agitated and more disrespectful. And I mean, this is the top guy in the corporation of customer service with clients of the bank. This is the top guy. Well, he told me he's the top guy. And I said, I'm not even arguing with you. I want you to know, and I told him this right in the beginning. I said, I want you to know that I'm recording your conversation on my iPhone as we interact about the issue that I have. And he just flew off the handle. But so as he's going on with his rant and disrespect of me, he just says something to the effect of, I don't want to talk to you or deal with you. You're not worth the time of day. And he hung up on me. And, well, that's a nice truck that just went by. So I want you all to know that was Wells Fargo Bank, by the way. I assume he's somebody in San Francisco where their main office is. I was just trying to find out why you have to say that to people, and it makes me feel, kind of a little offended, and I just wanted to have a brief conversation with something other than it's company policy, you don't need to know any more than that. Well, there's a lot of places, including the government, that tell me that same thing. It's company or government policy, and you don't need to know anything more than that. We've all been brought up with that sort of demeanor and attitude. Taking a sip of my coffee. So I called back and got a very nice lady who was also upper up level, and she was just customer service all over the place and very polite and respectful. And I said to her at the end, thank you, obviously, and didn't need to go any further than our conversation, and you should have his position because you seem to have a quality or trait to deal with people in a polite, respectful, professional manner. Thank you. I did. She asked me, do I want to fill out a complaint form on him? And I said, yeah, of course. Is it a big deal? She said, no, I just have to ask you a couple, 2-3 questions. And so I did. And she said, I'll go ahead and submit this because you should not have been treated that way. It's just a question. So anyway, she took care of it, and it was really good. Here's what I walked away with. In the past, I was taught and brought up about having resistance to people, right? Because what I really need is truthfulness in my business psychology. And I encourage people to be, honest. And that's all it was, is that I've been a person such that I offer resistance to people if I feel they're not being straight up with me. Here's one other example, and I've changed it today. I went through a professional presentation of my issue, and I would just like to have the availability to encourage better customer service so that other people won't feel in the same way that I did. Here, one other example, then I'm going to stop, but this is a real short one. So I work in psychology, and I deal with people in psychology that are, they probably shouldn't be therapists or counselors, or I don't think they've ever earned the rank of psychologists, but there's a guy I know, and I may put his name out there, not today, but I think I'll probably put it out there in the next one or two podcasts, because I'm doing the same thing with him. I called him up. I've talked to him from time to time about different issues that I seem to have, and I don't know, I guess there's a professional relationship there, but I probably know more than he knows anyway. But so off and on over the past 10 years, he and I have sort of interacted about what's going on with him, what's going on with me, and blah, blah, blah. Called him up last week, maybe 10 days ago. And I said, I wonder if I could find some time to come over and visit with you about some things that I have going on and get your feedback on them. I'd like to hear that. And he never called back. And I've been in psychology for 53 years. And that has to do with ethics. And that has to do with professional ethics and standards. And if there was not a previous professional relationship, then it wouldn't matter. It's like, the guy's busy or just blew me off or whatever the case is. Well, the guy blew me off professionally and ethically. So here's what I want you guys to do. Do what I did. Don't cause resistance. Call the guy up and say, why didn't you call me back, you bum? Don't offer any resistance. I've not called him back. I'm not going to call him back. I've offered no resistance to him. But I have filed a complaint with the state board ethics and standards committee to where he will have to go and answer to that issue. You can't do that. I bring that point up, and I will bring his name up here in the next time or two. But he's going to have to go down and answer on his questions, on his behavior in regard to ethics and standards in psychology. Don't let people get away with stuff without being an augur, with being an augur, resistance to them. You don't have to attack them, go after them, be offended by them. You don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. There are steps that you're supposed to take professionally, respectfully, with dignity, to address the issue. In the case of this, I'm sure not going to call him a therapist anymore. But in the case of that person, he's now going to have to go to a standards committee, a state board, and answer his behavior. We don't have to put up with that and allow them to think that they're above us, but we need to address it in a professional, respectful manner. That makes sense? Same thing with the bank this morning. I didn't get blown out of the water. I didn't continue to resist. I had that wasn't even my intention. But I did bring it up in a professional, respectful manner, and I got satisfaction and was treated respectfully from them. So there's a lot of things that happen. You go to the grocery store, and you go to stores, and anymore people don't want to work. People don't show up for work. There's a lot of places that are just not doing the full hours because they don't have the staff to do it. Well, when you go into any business, you expect to be treated, one, with dignity, with respect. You expect somebody to address you as a person. You know what I mean? And not just discount you and dismiss you because they got something else going or you're unimportant to them. You can address the issues professionally and respectfully without making a scene in the store, in the bank, wherever. But I encourage everybody to do that. It happened to me, I don't know, 2007. It happened to me where somebody filed a complaint on me for being too resistant. I encouraged a more honest sort of answer so that I could do a better quality of work and not go down the wrong road or the wrong alley. You know what I mean? And I was called on it. And I got in trouble. I got in a lot of trouble for that because that went to the ethics committee as well in the state where I was living at the time. And they said, nah, don't be so resistant. Soften up a little bit. You know? It's not the worst thing in the world that you're not getting everybody to be truthful with you. Same thing with this therapist today. Not today, but a couple weeks ago or whenever. You know, if he has an issue, then he needs to man up, so to speak, be professional, call up and say, blah, 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 blah. Will that work for you? This will work for me. I don't know. Maybe we ought to, look at that a little harder. Boy, that coffee. It's a different kind of coffee today, but it's pretty good. So anyway, I'm going to end before somebody calls me, probably somebody else who's wanting to tell me that I'm on a recorded line. But soften up with the resistance towards people. I don't think it works. God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.